You're judging yourself based on how other people perceive you. Yes, you're judging yourself based on external validation, all right? So, some time ago, I was in a training group and we were having a discussion. I was talking to one of the other ladies, and she said to me, she doesn't feel that natural hair is professional. She doesn't feel that natural when she wears her hair in its natural state, that it looks professional. So she says natural hair is unprofessional, right? So yeah, I was like blank stare, side eye, because here I am in my locks, all right? And what's unprofessional about wearing your natural hair? So I knew right away she was judging herself from a place of lack of self-love, lack of self-acceptance, and for some reason she may have been programmed to believe that wearing her hair in its natural state or kinky state did not make her look professional. So she had to change her look based on, what was professional to other people, what that meant to other people. And don't get me wrong, like I have my share of wigs, weaves. I've done every style possible, to man, but that's because I express myself in different ways and whatever comes to me, but it had nothing to do with me feeling like my natural hair was not enough. All right. Another story is that so I worked with a mentor at some point, and during our session, I mentioned that, I am open to working with anyone, right? However, I think that I may want to focus on Caribbean people because that's me, right? I was born in the Caribbean. I was born and raised in the Caribbean, and then I moved to New York City at the age of 10, you understand, where I grew up in New York City. And when I said that, her first response, which kind of came out of nowhere, she was like, "Oh my God, they're the worst." And once again, blank stare, side eye, because your ancestry is Caribbean, all right? You were born from Caribbean parents. So, what about Caribbean people is the worst, to work with? And I understood right away that that came from her own biases, and there was some sort of self love that was lacking. And don't get me wrong, I get people drawing boundaries around experiences that they may have had with certain people. However, it's not about categorizing a whole group of people based on experiences you may have had with one or two. And here I am, I'm like, I'm your client. I'm from the Caribbean. I claim my Caribbean heritage. I mean, you can hear it in my voice. It comes through my accent. Although I grew up in New York from the time I was 9 going on 10, my Caribbean accent still comes through. So it was like, okay, so I'm your Caribbean client. And so, yeah, you have a bias with working with me. And, to be honest, I felt the reluctance of her to work with me. All right. And mind you, she's of Caribbean descent. And yeah, most of her clients are of other races. Okay. And I'm not judging. That's everyone's preference, who they choose to work with or who gravitates to them. However, how are you going to categorize a whole group of people based on an experience that you may have had with one or two or whatever? I know what came through, what I heard was, I don't like myself. I'm judging me, and I'm externalizing that towards a whole group of people. And yeah, I have story after story. Like one time I did a video, and of course I like to laugh. I like to have fun in my videos, right? I like to giggle. My inner child is at play. She's having fun. We're having fun with this work. So to me, even though I'm talking about a serious topic or a topic that may be triggering to a lot of people, I have fun with it. Yes, I make light of it because at the end of the day, we're not carrying anything heavy. And somebody left a comment on my video, "What's so funny? You laughing is creepy." What? Side eye, once again blank stare, because what's creepy about me laughing? You understand? So yeah, search within. I told her you need to go within and find out what about me having fun with my content, having fun with my delivery is creepy to you. That's something within you that you need to get to the root of to find out why is that uncomfortable for you. All right. I mean, I could go on and on. I shared a video the other day where my bra was showing, and yeah, I have voluptuous breasts. Okay. I'm a divine feminine, and I've always had this issue, right? From the age of, as soon as I started growing breasts, like they were there, all right? And you got made fun of, other girls used to give me the side eye because it's like, oh, she thinks she all of that because she has big breasts. And it's like, no, that's just part of me. Like, what am I supposed to do about them, right? So the other day I had on a dress where I was showing a lot of cleavage, and it's just how the dress fit. I wasn't deliberately trying to show cleavage, right? But this guy commented, like, it's hard for me to focus on the message because I can't stop staring at the two jugs, or whatever he said. Like, don't quote me, but he said something like that. And I found it to be hilarious. Like, I just laughed because at the end of the day, I'm not going to take it personal. Like, he's being transparent, all right? And it's all good. Right? So yeah, my mom, we were speaking, and she was sharing some insight about the video, and I took her insight, and she was saying that my bra was showing, and I need, it doesn't make me look professional and things like that, right? So I was like, you know what? I took her feedback and it was validated. However, I had to let her know that at the end of the day, I wasn't trying to show my bra. It just happened to be showing. And yeah, my bra was cute, okay? And as far as it making me look unprofessional, I don't care about any of that. I'm not here to try to look like anything. If you think the way I'm dressed or what's going on with my clothes while I'm transferring the message that's being channeled to me has something to do with the message, then that's on you, all right? But, I had to let her know I really don't care what anyone thinks, okay? And my bra was cute at the end of the day, but it's not like I was trying to show my bra. You understand? I was receiving a channel message, and I just allowed it to come through the way that it came through. I'm not focused on my bra showing in the moment. It's not till after the video I realized my bra was showing, and I'm like, hey, I'm not going to do the video over because my bra was showing. So yeah, I took her insight and I let her know that I appreciate it. But at the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter to me that my bra was showing. I don't care. I'm a woman. I wear a bra. Like, women wear bras. Everybody knows that. You understand? So how does that take away from my message? You understand? I love you, Mom, but yeah. And yeah, but I know that came from a time where when she grew up, they were expected to do things based on what others would think. Because growing up, that's all I heard. When I'm trying to be myself, I'm just being my authentic self. And I would hear a lot, oh, what would blah, blah, blah say? Or what would people think if you did this? What would people think if you did that? And I held on to that. You understand? And it's not till I went through my healing phase that I'm like, I don't give a shit what nobody thinks of me. As long as I'm expressing what wants to be expressed in that moment, that's all that matters to me. You understand what I'm saying? Once you stop judging yourself, okay, once you stop caring about external validation, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter, and it's not gonna matter to you what anyone thinks. It shouldn't matter to you how anyone is judging you, because no one is here to judge you. God doesn't judge. I grew up going to church, okay, and it was always a thing on Sundays as far as we had to put on our Sunday best, and I got in so much trouble every Sunday, okay, because it was just like I wanted to express my authenticity, and it's like my mom wanted to present me being the only girl, the youngest girl in the family, so I had to show out and show up, okay? And I was here for it because I like the pretty dresses. I like my hair being done with all the clips and everything like that. But at the end of the day, doesn't the Bible say that God says, quote unquote, render your heart and not your garment, right? Render your heart. As long as your heart is pure, as long as you're expressing from your true self, from your true state, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, okay? For someone to say that them appearing in their natural state, wearing their natural hair, does not make them look professional, you're taking on the perception of what other people may think of you. So now you're putting yourself in a category of what is this person gonna think, you understand, when I show up as me. So are you gonna suppress who you truly are? Are you gonna suppress your authenticity based on how others may perceive you? I mean, that's no way to live. All right. So at the end of the day, a lot of us present ourselves as being confident. A lot of us present ourselves as having all this confidence. But at the end of the day, there's a subconscious loop in the background that cares for external validation, that cares what other people may think. You understand? And that's the programming. That's the subconscious loop that we work on in quantum metamorphosis. We go straight to the root of whatever is keeping you in a negative loop pattern of caring about anything external or outside of yourself. I'm here to tell you, so, as someone who was caught in that same loop of what others may think, what others will say, that once I stopped judging myself, once I fully accepted myself for everything that I am, all right, we're multi-dimensional beings, okay? We're not meant to be one way, and none of us are alike. Nothing is perfect. Like before, I would get channel messages from source, all right, or from my divine spirit, from my higher self, from the universe, whatever you choose to relate to it as. And I would make sure that I'm dressed appropriately, whatever that means. I would make sure that, as someone who never cared for makeup, you understand? I'm not this big makeup person. I never cared to wear all this makeup. I didn't have to, you understand? And I would find myself going and putting on a full face, making sure everything was perfect. And it's like, by the time I did all of that, the channel message would be gone. You understand? I had lost the channel message because it's like a channel message comes in the moment. So now I am aware. I love myself no matter how it is I'm showing up. And I get the part about you wearing things that make you feel good, wearing your hair to express what's happening inside. All right, I get it. I change my looks all the time. If you look at my videos, if you look at my timeline, like my hair is always different. And so yeah, I'm all about self-expression, okay, and what's happening in the moment. But at the end of the day, be you. As long as you're being you, as long as this is coming from within, without the thought of, oh, others like this, how will other people feel about this? That's not your problem, and that's not your issue. So if you find yourself in that loop, if you say you're confident, if you say that you're secure in who you are, but you still think about what others think when you're being you, then yeah, you're caught in a subconscious loop of self-judgment. All right. With quantum metamorphosis, we get to the root of that judgment. We get to the root of what has caused you or what is causing you. Because for me, I knew that it was in the environment that I grew up. External validation was a thing. In the Caribbean, everybody cares about what people think, and I get it. In that time, it was good for that time. In my mother's time, she had to go through that, she had to live through that, and at the end of the day, it caused certain patterns for her. But I'm not here to continue those patterns because, one, we live in a different time, and two, I'm not here to live my life based on what anyone else thinks. And that's what I'm here to do for you. Let's get to this, all right? Book your one-on-one session now. Quantum Metamorphosis is where we get to the root of the wound and we heal it in real time, instantaneously. All right? Love you guys. Mwah. Talk to you later.